Could I ask now the chairperson of the Making Planning Transparent, Inclusive and Accountable group, Alyssa Munn, please, for your comments.
Hi, how are you? We had a fantastic group and some really interesting characters in it, including a couple of university lecturers. And something that really came across to me is the need that people were saying that we need one system. We need a framework which is simplified, is understandable, and that can be explained to everyone. It can be explained to anyone so that everyone feels like they can get involved. So even at the early stages, where one of our groups really recognised that at the early stages, it's all very well to say, oh, let's get people involved at strategic planning level, but that can be quite intangible. So simplifying the process so that there is a way that people can understand what is involved at the strategic planning level, what's trying to be achieved, and having their opinions on that and really listening to them so that they feel like it's a genuine process where they're being understood. It was also, there was a lot of emphasis in our groups about how that would take place. The uses of multimedia being very important, but also the recognition that there are different generations who are affected. Younger generations, middle generations who are just very time poor, and older generations. Public meetings are getting very difficult to attend and they don't reach the wider community. How do we do that? Facebook, SMS, but also traditional methods so that the older generations who aren't necessarily equipped, or even more rural areas that don't necessarily have access, are also involved. That process also has to be regularly updated and regularly reviewed so that it can remain flexible, so that we're not stifled by a system that everyone feels is out of date. At the middle stages, it was said that the government processes should be holistic. The government should be seen as a holistic entity, both at the state level, local level, and at the federal level. And there was also a suggestion in relation to consultation that perhaps it could be self-regulated more so at those sort of middle levels, because it's done in the early stages, and allowing people to sort of take more account for what they're doing, but also bringing the council in at a lower level at the middle stages. The outcomes being very important. The main outcome is that people feel that there is integrity in the system and that it's been a genuine process where they have been involved. They feel like there's consistency in the outcomes so that it's not arbitrary, but also that they've understood what the process is in plain English and they've been consulted. So they feel that that was a genuine process and they have confidence in that process. Also at the more economic level, developers, so that the developers and the professionals in the industry don't feel stifled by the system, and that progress isn't stifled by a culture that just doesn't like the system. But there are lots of great ideas.